Hello everyone, I'm Donna Presley and I'd like to welcome you to the Donna Presley official YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about the shift at Graceland, Priscilla in, the family out. Many times I've been asked about this situation with Graceland and how it evolved and what it is today. I want to be delicate, never offensive, but I do want to share what I know. It is true that something had to be done to generate income. Uncle Vernon often spoke about opening the house to the fans. Even before that, Uncle Bester would sometimes let visitors through the gates and let them tour the front driveway. And when Elvis passed away, Uncle Vernon felt it only right that people should be allowed into the mansion to pay their respects to Elvis. A precedent had been set, both by him and by Elvis, to let the fans in during important moments in his life. But unfortunately, everything changed very quickly. Uncle Vernon's health declined at an alarming pace. He struggled to breathe, he was weak, and yet he carried the weight of an enormous responsibility. At the same time, the future of Graceland was unsettled. The Memphis Council had shown interest, but no one knew how Lisa's interest would be safeguarded. The family felt uneasy, and nothing was settled yet. I remember one day at work when Uncle Vernon told me he was appointing Priscilla as a trustee. Elvis had not named her in the will, nor left her anything directly, so I was momentarily taken back. I asked him, "Do you think this is what Elvis would want? Would he be okay with that?" And Uncle Vernon shook his head. "No, I don't. But we have to think of Lisa." Priscilla would be expected to protect her daughter's interest. From there, events unfolded in ways that no one could have predicted. Priscilla stepped in as trustee, and over time, she asked advice of businessmen, and eventually EPE was formed. To be perfectly honest, Priscilla took over through circumstance rather than design. It was not Elvis's plan, and it was not what Uncle Vernon would have chosen had he been strong and well. But his health was failing, and decisions had to be made quickly. What began as an effort to secure Lisa's future slowly shifted into something very, very different. The intent in those early days was to preserve Graceland for Lisa and to honor Elvis's memory. The outcome was a business operation of a scale that none of us could even possibly imagined. And along the way, the Blood family, those of us who had grown up with him, supported him, prayed with him, lived with him, loved him, and been loved by him, we were gradually moved aside. It didn't happen in a moment, but little by little, one by one, we were pushed away. We were excluded on everything. That's perhaps the saddest part for me. Even today, at special times set aside to remember Elvis, anniversary of his birth, of his passing, or other occasions that were meant to be celebrating his legacy, the family were never invited. Instead, those moments are shared with friends or co-workers or ex-girlfriends or love interest, but not with the very family that stood beside him and was beside him through his entire life. The exclusion is extremely painful, and it's very hard, a very hard time. The exclusion is painful because of the love for Elvis. Our love for Elvis was not temporary or conditional. It was rooted in blood and in faith, and it'll never fade with time. I say this not in bitterness at all, but in truth. The Graceland of today is the result of many turns in the road, shaped by illness and circumstance. It is not what Elvis set out in his will, nor is it what Uncle Vernon imagined when he first opened the gates for the fans. And so I share this reflection for clarity's sake. to understand that the story of Graceland is not one of simple planning, but of survival in a time of loss. The intent was family and protection. The outcome became something entirely different. Still, my heart remains tied to Elvis's true legacy, not the business, but my cousin. And in sharing those memories, I hope people understand that behind the public story lies a deeper family truth, shaped by love, by faith, and yes, by sorrow too. And I want you to understand, it didn't matter if Uncle Vernon was aging or unwell. The very idea that Priscilla could have manipulated or influenced him is completely impossible. Anyone who suggests otherwise simply didn't know the man. His will was absolute. Nobody, under any circumstances, could move him from what he believed to be right. I can assure you there was no manipulation from Priscilla or from anyone else when it came to Uncle Vernon allowing who to be made trustee of Graceland. That decision was his, and his alone. He acted with the same unshakable resolve that defined him throughout his life. And he did it for one reason, and that was one reason only, and that was to secure Lisa's future. Elvis must also be respected for why he appointed his father in the first place. It was an intelligent and savvy decision. Elvis disliked confrontation, but he needed someone close to him who he could trust and who would stand firm and handle the difficult matters whenever it was necessary. He trusted his father to do that without wavering, and Uncle Vernon never failed him in any way. And if anyone ever doubts his strength, they need only to look at how he was seen by those who worked for Elvis. Many in the staff, and especially the entourage, disliked Uncle Vernon for one reason, and one reason only. He was very strict. He kept order, he held people accountable, and he never gave in to flattery or pressure. They knew he couldn't be swayed, and they couldn't do anything about it. They resented it. And that is the kind of man that he was. But after Elvis's death, the essence of Graceland began to change. Priscilla had been named the trustee, and with the people that she brought in, the direction of Graceland shifted. What was once a family home, filled with love, memory, and the presence of Presleys at every turn, was transformed into something different, something neither Elvis nor Uncle Vernon would have wanted. You can ask, would Elvis and Uncle Vernon like the Graceland of today? No, I don't think they could have ever imagined that every blood family member would be pushed aside, shut out of the very place that was their heart and their home. No, today, the closed doors even extend to the family being unable to pay respects freely at the graves of my beloved grandmother, my uncle, and my cousin, and now Lisa Marie and Benjamin. Is this what Uncle Vernon intended when he agreed to Priscilla's trusteeship? No, I don't think so. Absolutely not. His decision was about Lisa, about securing her financial future and protecting what was hers by birthright. It was never about giving over the essence of Graceland, nor about excluding family. The truth must be said. Uncle Vernon could not be swayed. Elvis trusted him for that very reason. But after Elvis was gone, the path chosen under Priscilla's hand and through those who allowed to control matters changed Graceland forever. And in my opinion, not for the better. Those who question his strength should remember how he was viewed by the people around Elvis. Many of the staff, and particularly in the so-called Memphis Mafia, they openly disliked Uncle Vernon. Why? Because they couldn't get around him. He was strict. He said when no one was needed to be said, and he forced standards they didn't like. They could not manipulate him. They could not charm him, and they certainly could not change his mind once he'd made his mind up. His one goal in life was to protect his son, and after his son was gone, his only goal in life was then to protect his only grandchild and to secure her future and her birthright and what Elvis would have wanted for her. You see, the trusteeship, in all truth, was merely a temporary fix because Lisa Marie was supposed to take over when she was 25. So it was never meant to be an ongoing thing forever. But I hope this explains a little bit about the family, about what happened, and how it's changed in so many ways. So thank you for listening, and I will bid you adieu. Until the next time, God bless.